Hi and welcome everyone to another video. My name is Denis and today I'm going to show you how my team performed in Game Week 8 of Fantasy Premier League, and then I'm going to show you my plans and strategies for Game Week 9. But now let's just get into it. Okay guys, so as you can see from the screen, this is how my team performed in Game Week 8 of Fantasy Premier League. Now if you ask me, I think that it was a pretty strange, weird game week after the international break and all that stuff. Now there aren't a lot of positives to take about from Game Week 8. Now talking about my team, we're going to discuss a little bit about the things I'm happy about and also about some things I'm not so happy about. Now, as you can see from the screen, I got 71 points, which is not horrible or something like that. It is decent. I got the green arrow, and the good positive is that I'm inside 1 million rank overall. So yeah, this is something nice to take about. Now, still, I know that there is still one game to be played, West Ham and Brentford, but I just don't think that's going to change so much my overall rank. So yeah, overall really happy with how my team performed this gaming. I'm happy that I got the green arrow. I'm happy that finally I'm at the moment ranked 890k, which is okay in the first 10 gamings of the season. Let's be honest. Now again, I don't want to be at this rank, to be honest with you, but again, we have a lot of things we can improve, and the negatives here are obviously some players which I'm not really happy about owning at the moment. But let's start with how my team performed. In defense, again, I was decent in defense. Really happy with Raya and Gabriel. Really happy with double Arsenal defense. They are just amazing at getting clean sheets. They are not conceding a lot of chances. And definitely, as I said so many times before, Arsenal are the best defense in the Premier League. And yeah, they are going to get the most clean sheets. Now, this is one positive to take about because I wildcarded in Game Week 6, so I'm really happy that I got early on this double Arsenal defense, because I think that a lot of people are going to try to get to that point. And don't get me wrong, if you give me the option right now, probably I would not go for Raya. Probably I would just take the risk on someone like Timber, if you can call it a risk, obviously. But at the moment, yeah, really happy with Raya. 6 points, Gabriel 12 points. He's really decent also for defensive contributions. He got an assist, he got maximum bonus points. So yeah, really happy with that. Senesi, again, I knew that, I mean, not new, but I assumed that Bournemouth were going to concede against Crystal Palace. He still got defensive contributions points, so for that reason he got 2 points. So really happy that I played Senesi at least over Van de Ven and over Anderson, who all got 0 and 1 point respectively. And also really happy with my decision. It was an easy decision for me to play Alderete against Wolverhampton. I wasn't so sure that Sunderland were going to keep a clean sheet, but yeah, Alderete didn't disappoint. So yeah, really happy with my 4 million defender. Obviously, I would be over the moon to have someone like Mukiele at the moment, but yeah, it is what it is. If we move to my midfield, the nice surprise here is Bruno Fernandes, who got 8 points against Liverpool. He was the top scorer midfielder from my team. Semenyo got an assist, not a lot of attacking returns from him, but again, it is Semenyo. The fixtures are decent. I'm just going to keep him at the moment at least. So yeah, okay with 4 points. Everybody pretty much on Semenyo, so it doesn't really matter how many points he's going to get. A little bit disappointed maybe with Kudus. Tottenham obviously lost to Aston Villa 2-1. He didn't get any attacking returns. He ended up on 2 points, and yeah, but my biggest disappointment this game week was Reinders. And again, obviously, if he could have stayed on the pitch for just 30 seconds or something like that, we would be looking at a 3-pointer or something like that, and the things wouldn't look that bad. And again, maybe I'm a little bit disappointed with my decision. I obviously thought a lot about benching Reinders and playing someone like Njae, and now obviously in hindsight, and now maybe a little bit of knee-jerk, it seems like that was the plan. That was the best idea, to just play Njae, a penalty taker. Even though he was playing against Manchester City, I knew that the chances were there for Njae to get defensive contributions. So yeah, he got 4 points without doing nothing pretty much. And if I'm being honest, at the moment, honestly, obviously, I'm really happy with having Njae into my team. He looked amazing against Manchester City, and luckily for me, he didn't get a lot more assists. I think that he should got more attacking returns against Manchester City. He was just playing fantastic, so really happy to have Njae going forward anyway. So yeah, it is a 3-point. It's not such a big of a deal. And yeah, obviously really happy with Bruno Fernandes. He got an assist against Liverpool, and when Bruno Fernandes is getting a return, pretty much he gets also bonus points. So he got maximum bonus points. He didn't get defensive contributions, but yeah, it is what it is. We're going to take the 8-pointer against Liverpool. Obviously, it stings. As a Liverpool fan, it stings to have Bruno Fernandes and for him to do so good against Liverpool. He missed also a huge opportunity, so he could have easily scored another goal, Bruno Fernandes. Now, again, I'm not really saying that I'm just going to keep now Bruno Fernandes. Everybody before this game against Liverpool was talking about Bruno Fernandes being such a bad pick, and now everybody is talking like he's a season keeper or something like that. No, I just don't think that's how things are going to work. I still, obviously, before the game ended the deadline, my plan was to sell Bruno Fernandes to Enzo Fernandez if we got that league that he was starting. Now, happily, I didn't go through with that transfer, and yeah, I got rewarded a little bit for that with 8 pointers. But still, the plan moving forward, the fixtures are decent for Manchester United. So if I'm not going to be forced to sell Bruno Fernandes, it is fine to keep him. He's still probably on penalties. He's still decent for defensive contributions, and he still created chances. So yeah, I think that it's not a must to sell him at the moment, but if I need the cash, I'm going to sell Bruno Fernandes. Now, if we look at my forward line, this is probably the part of my team which I'm not really happy about. Obviously, Haaland was my captain. He scored 2 goals. That's a standard for Erling Haaland. So yeah, not I don't really care too much about that. Everybody owns Haaland. Everybody's captaining him. So yeah, at least I have him into my team. This is a positive, I guess. Joao Pedro, another blank against Nottingham Forest. Everybody scored from Chelsea, but not Joao Pedro. So he's not really getting the chances. He's not getting a lot of chances to score. Doesn't look great, Joao Pedro. But at the moment, we're going to take a look at how my team is looking for Game Week 9. So Joao Pedro is not a priority sell for me because the fixtures are decent, and the next fixture in Game Week 9 is against Sunderland. So definitely, I'm not going to sell Joao Pedro for Game Week 9. But in the future, yeah, he's on the watch list of players I want to get rid of at some point, probably if he's going to perform like he used to in the last 3 or 4 game weeks. And Gyökeres is probably the biggest disappointment from my Game Week 6 wildcard. He blanked 3 times. Now again, it's not like Arsenal scored 5 goals and just Gyökeres blanked or something like that. Arsenal got a win against Fulham, just a 1-0 win, and even someone like Bukayo Saka didn't get any attacking returns in that game. So it's not like Bukayo Saka scored 2 goals and got 2 assists and Gyökeres blanked. He pretty much blanked if we're talking about attacking returns, if we're talking about goals and assists. Now obviously with Bukayo Saka, he got defensive contributions in that game and he got 2 bonus points. He got obviously the clean sheet points. So Bukayo Saka ended on 7 points. He outscored Raya. But yeah, to be honest with you, that doesn't really seem fair. Bukayo Saka got 7 points, Gyökeres got 2, and both of them blanked in terms of assists and goals. Now again, don't get me wrong, guys. If you give me the option right now, I would just take Bukayo Saka to have into my team rather than to have someone like Gyökeres. But I just don't think that it's such big of a deal. And again, it is not a rush for me to buy Bukayo Saka. Arsenal are going to play at home, it is true, against Crystal Palace, which is a team who are usually defending okay. Now, obviously, they didn't defend amazingly in the last 2 game weeks or something like that, but we know that they can defend okay. And Crystal Palace is not the fixture I want to have, I don't know, someone like 3 attackers from Arsenal. Now, again, obviously, moving forward, if the things are going to stay the same with Gyökeres, yeah, obviously, I would prefer to have someone like Bukayo Saka, but yeah, what I think was really funny this game week, Bukayo Saka got 7 points, so Bruno Fernandes outscored him with 8, and I find that really funny because a lot of people obviously sold Bruno Fernandes to Bukayo Saka, and don't get me wrong, for good reasons, but it's just funny that Bruno Fernandes outscored him. So yeah, I think that Bukayo Saka is a fantastic FPL option. I think that still he's going to be the main penalty taker. It is a shame we didn't saw another penalty from Arsenal to see. It would be really funny for Gyökeres to took that in game week 8. That would be be amazing, but again, I expect Bukayo Saka to have the penalties at most times, but I just think that Arsenal are really desperate at some points to get Gyökeres going. So if they're going to get a penalty, I'm not ruling out the chance of Gyökeres taking it. So again, obviously this is not a good reason to just keep Gyökeres. I'm not saying that I'm going to keep him long term. The fixtures are great, but if I want to make some changes with my team, if I want to go for someone like Bukayo Saka, if I want to go for someone like Mateta, which we're going to discuss about him, again, it is not great having someone like João Pedro, having Gyökeres when someone like Mateta is scoring a hat-trick against Bournemouth. So yeah, obviously it doesn't feel great. Now I have 3 free transfers. And let's just move to see how my team is looking for Game Week 9 and also to see my plans and strategies for the future. Okay guys, so as I said before, I have 3 free transfers at the moment and 0 millions in the bank now. An option I didn't talk too much before, obviously another option could be to just roll the transfer and have 4 free transfers for Game Week 10 of Fantasy Premier League when a lot of players are going to have some swings, and I'm talking about players from Crystal Palace like Sar, Mateta, Munoz, all these good players. Now again, if we look at how my team is looking like for Game Week 9, this is how you see it on the screen. I'm really happy with my defense. I have Roya, Gabriel, not any plans to move them at the moment. Now obviously I could just sell someone like Roya, but that doesn't really help me at the moment, so really happy with them. Senesi, Van de Ven, they are okay for Game Week 9. Van de Ven, again, I'm not really super excited to have a Spurs defender at the moment, and also the fixtures are not going to be amazing for Spurs going forward, so at some point I need to get rid of them. Everton is fine, but then Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal, Fulham, Newcastle, Brentford, the fixtures overall are not amazing for Spurs, and I could be looking to get rid of my Spurs boys. In defense, I have also Alderete and Anderson. At the moment, he is flagged, so I need to see how bad is his injury. If it's really bad, I'm just going to sell Anderson at some point. I'm not going to sell him this gaming because my defense is looking okay. Also, Senesi against Nottingham Forest at home. My midfield at the moment is Bruno Fernandes, Semenyo, Njai, and Kudus, and yeah, I'm okay with that. Obviously, I'm not. Let's just talk a little bit about the players. I'm not super happy because I forgot to talk about that in the first part. So let's start with the forwards. I'm not happy with João Pedro, not happy with Gyökeres. But if we talk about João Pedro, I'm just not going to sell him in Game Week 9. Again, I would not sell probably any player who was about to be playing against Sunderland at home, and that's not to say that Sunderland are a bad team or something like that. They are impressive at the moment and they impress me in the start of the season, but still it's Chelsea, still they are a newly promoted side and they are playing at home, so there's no way I'm just going to sell João Pedro before this fixture. After that we're going to see, but yeah, the plan would be to try to keep João Pedro. Obviously, if he's going to do something at some point, Sunderland, Spurs, Wolverhampton, Burnley, the fixtures are decent. Then Arsenal is tough, but then Leeds is okay. So I'm not in a rush to sell João Pedro, but of course, he's not returning at the moment as the same level he was in the start of the season. I'm still expecting him to get some goals at some point, but yeah, obviously Gyökeres is a player I'm not super happy about. If we're talking about midfielders, Reinders, again, he's not amazing, but I'm not having such big expectation from him, and yeah, if you give me unlimited free transfers at the moment, yeah, I would get rid of Reinders, but I just don't think that he's a priority at the moment because as you can see, I can just bench him. So Reinders is pretty much at the moment my 8th attacker. If I don't need to play him, if I don't want to play him, he's just going to be on my bench, and as a bench fodder, he's just a good option, and that money is still good value, I think. So yeah, really happy with Njai, really happy with Semenyo. These two players probably I'm not going to sell in the future soon. Again, I could play here someone like Dubravka, but as long as I have Raya, I'm just going to play the Arsenal defense. Although, yeah, obviously Raya is not going to make a lot of saves, but that's because Arsenal are really good defense and they are going to get a lot of clean sheets. So suddenly, my problems obviously are Anderson, Gyökeres, João Pedro, Reinders, and maybe Kudus, but Kudus is okay for Game Week 9 against Everton, that's okay, but after that I don't have any problems in selling someone like Kudus. Now, I didn't make any transfers yesterday and maybe that's going to haunt me, maybe I made a mistake right there, because for an example, someone like Bukayo Saka, just rose in price. I still, what can I do is to sell someone like Gyökeres to someone like Krupi Juniors, for an example, and to sell Reinders to Bukayo Saka. So I can still afford to do that. But why I didn't make any transfers yesterday is because obviously this week we have a lot of Champions League games, a lot of Europa League games, Conference League games. So a lot of players are going to play, and there is still so much information we don't know at the moment. For an example, if someone like Enzo Fernandez is going to be fit for Game Week 9, which Enzo Fernandez is a player I really want to have into my team. Now, I still can do these moves. Again, for an example, let's pretend I'm going to do that. If I'm going to do that, again, I could just go down to someone like Guyu or to someone like Obi from Manchester United, because if I'm going to buy Krupi Jr., there's a chance he's going to start in Game Week 9 because Evan Nilsson is looking like he's not going to be fit enough to play in Game Week 9. So again, I would need to bench someone like Kudu, someone like Njaed, and to play someone like Kurpi Jr. So it just doesn't make a lot of sense for my team at least. So again, if I'm going to do this, which is nice, obviously you're getting rid of Gyökeres, you're getting rid of Reinders and buying Bukayo Saka and Krupi Jr. So it doesn't look bad as a move. Now, obviously, I'm going to save my one free transfer if I'm going to do that, obviously. And then I'm going to have 2 free transfers in Game Week 10, and this is how my team is going to look like. What happens if Anderson is not going to be fit to play against Wolverhampton at home? I mean, I could just play Senesi against Manchester City, it's not the end of the world, or Van de Ven against Chelsea, I guess. But what I don't really like about these moves is going to block me on getting Mateta. Now, again, if João Pedro somehow is going to blank against Sunderland, I'm just going to sell him to Mateta, and for that I would need to find some money. Obviously, I think that Mateta is going to rise in price until Game Week 10, so probably I'm going to be priced out of doing João Pedro to Mateta, so I will need to make another transfer, and that's not a problem. I could just downgrade someone like Kudus. But again, I just don't really like that. So if we refresh the page, by the way, this is Fantasy Football Hub. If you want to check this app, you have the link into my description. So again, I could do that. I could just do Gyökeres to Mateta and Bruno Fernandes to Bukayo Saka, and that would leave me with 0.3 millions in the bank. But again, I don't really want to buy Mateta against Arsenal away. So let's talk a little bit about Mateta. He was amazing, obviously, in Game Week 8. Congrats to everyone who owns him. Again, a little bit disappointed maybe that I sold Mateta in order to afford someone like Erling Haaland in, I think that when I use my wildcard in Game Week 6. So again, doesn't feel great. But yeah, Mateta at the moment is looking okay. I don't really like the fixture in Game Week 9, so I don't think that's a rush for me to buy him. But again, if you want to buy him in advance, that's not a problem. He's a striker on penalties. I don't think that he's going to get a lot of chances against Arsenal away. I think that's the toughest fixture he's going to get all season. But obviously, probably you're going to get some price rises. But after Game Week 10, from Game Week 10, I really want to have someone like Mateta. Brentford, Brighton, Wolverhampton, Man United, Burnley, Fulham. The fixtures are going to be decent for Crystal Palace. Now, it sounds a little bit like a knee-jerk. I mean, Mateta wasn't getting the minutes in the last game weeks, and he didn't score a lot of goals, to be honest with you. So, yeah, what has changed? Obviously, he scored the hat-trick, so that's going to change our minds a little bit. But again, I still like someone like Sar from Game Week 10. I still like Mateta. Someone like Voldemort is looking okay. He's scoring every game, and I'm not sure how sustainable that is for someone like Voldemort. But again, I have Gyökeres, I have João Pedro. I'm not really too happy with them. So this is something I could do, but again, at the moment, Gyökeres and Bruno Fernandes, it doesn't sound like such a big upgrade to have Saka and Mateta against Arsenal than to have Bruno Fernandes against Brighton at home and Gyökeres against Crystal Palace at home. So I still want to give Gyökeres some games. Now, maybe I'm crazy. Please let me know down in the comments down below. What do you think? As I said before, I think that Gyökeres, he has a chance of taking the next penalty. The fixtures are obviously great, and I don't want to get into that place when I'm stuck with Gyökeres, because if he's going to blank against Crystal Palace, then I'm just going to say he has Burnley next, right? I'm surely going to keep him, but that's not the case. So another option could be for me to just roll. and have 4 free transfers, and then assess next game week, and maybe even remove Gyökeres and buy Bukayo Saka when the fixtures are even better against Burnley, against Sunderland. So again, I'm not against it. Another thing, as I said before, because I don't want to make any transfers in defense at the moment, I really want to have someone like Enzo Fernandez. So if he's going to be fit, I'm really tempted to just buy Enzo Fernandez, and that would be, I can sell Bruno Fernandes, which, as I said before, I'm not against selling him. I'm not suddenly think that Bruno Fernandes is a season keeper. I still don't really like him at that price, 8.9 millions. He's okay. If you want to keep him, he's decent. That's why I obviously have him still at the moment. He's on penalties, on some set pieces. He's still creating chances, even when he's playing a deeper role. But I just don't think that he's a great option at that price. I even think that someone like Mbeumo could be better from Manchester United in terms of goal scoring opportunities, obviously. So what I can do, if Enzo Fernandez is going to be fit, I could just sell someone like Kudus, because someone like Kudus doesn't have great fixtures. He doesn't have a lot of goal threat. I made some profit on him, and yeah, I just don't really want to have Kudus against Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal, Fulham, Newcastle. The fixtures are just not amazing. So I could just sell him for Enzo Fernandez this game week, save the other 2 free transfers, and move on. Now, obviously, I could just do all these transfers if I want. But yeah, I could, if I'm going to make this transfer to buy Enzo Fernandez, roll the other 2, have 3 free transfers in game week 10. That feels decent. And then by this point, if Gyökeres is still looking really bad against Crystal Palace, yeah, I'm just going to sell Gyökeres. Or if João Pedro is looking really bad, maybe I'm just going to sell João Pedro to someone like Mateta, and I will need to find 0.1 millions in the bank, something like that, and I could do that by even downgrading someone like Van de Ven. If, for an example, Anderson is going to be out, I will need to have another defender, so I could even buy someone like Richards here, a 4.6 defender. I'm not sure if he's still 4.6. Yeah, he's 4.5, so I could even buy someone like Richards, or if I want to buy someone like Bukayo Saka, it would be even either for Gyökeres and Reinders. I'm not sure if I'm going to have the money to do that. But yeah, pretty much these are my thoughts ahead of game week 9. Now, if you look again at my team, these are the possibilities. So I could even roll the transfer, give Kudus one more game week against Everton away. That's not the end of the world. And have 4 free transfers in game week 10, and then I'm just going to find a way to buy someone like Mateta, someone like Ismail Assar, maybe someone like Bukayo Saka. So it really depends how these players are going to perform in game week 9. Someone like Bruno Fernandes, I'm not tempted to keep him for the long run, but for an example, if he's going to get good returns against Brighton away, that could tempt me to just keep Bruno Fernandes, right, and find another way to buy maybe Bukayo Saka, by downgrading maybe Gyökeres to a GUI or something like that. But yeah, I think that I talked too much about my team. Thank you so much for watching this video this long. I really appreciate it, and it really means a lot. Please let me know down in the comments down below, what do you think about my team? What would you change if you were in my place? And I'm going to see you tomorrow with a special guest on stream, so make sure you be there. Bye. Bag gura lor, când mă întreabă oamenii de unde sunt le zic de va. Apoi îmi bag